I want you to picture a moment. I think every single person listening has been there. It doesn't really matter who you are. You walk into a room, maybe it's a big meeting or a networking event. Maybe it's just a party where you don't know anyone.
Okay, yeah. I'm feeling the anxiety already.
Right. You scan the room, see all these new faces, and you just realize, okay, I have to go. I have to introduce myself.
That is the universal dread. It's the moment your heart just starts beating a little bit faster.
Exactly. It goes boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You feel the spotlight just, turn on you. And get this. For a lot of our listeners, they're doing all of this in a second language.
So that anxiety is, it's dialed up to 11.
It's not just butterflies. It's a full-blown panic. You're not just worried about being interesting. You're worried about your grammar, your vocabulary, everything.
It's what's called cognitive overload. You're trying to manage your social self and your language self at the same time. It's just exhausting.
It really is. But today, we're going to fix that. We're doing a deep dive into this really great 3-part audio series from the Mr. English channel.
I really like this one.
Yeah. It has a language coach, Sophie, and a learner, Jack, who is, well, let's just say he knows that panic we're talking about.
Oh, Jack is terrified.
Yeah.
And what's so great about this series isn't just the grammar tips, though those are good. It's that Sophie basically gives him a master class in the psychology of connection.
She takes him from being a social ghost.
Which is such a great term.
Isn't it? Someone who's there but totally invisible to becoming a connection master.
I think we've all been the social ghost at the buffet pretending the cheese selection is the most fascinating thing we've ever seen.
Oh, 100%. But it doesn't get you very far.
No.
So our mission today is to unpack that toolkit Sophie gives Jack. We're going to look at science-backed strategies like the halo effect and something called the peak end rule.
And, the sources for English learners. But these are psychological tools that work on everyone. The human brain processes trust the same way, no matter the language.
The biology doesn't change. Okay, so let's start with that first hurdle. You walk in, the clock starts. Sophie drops this statistic on Jack that, honestly, it just stressed me out.
The 7-second rule.
7 seconds. She says people decide if they trust you within the first 7 seconds.
It's alarming, isn't it?
Come on, I can barely remember my own name in 7 seconds if I'm nervous. Jack actually panics in the audio and says, I can't even say hello that fast.
And he's kind of missing the point there, which is what most people do. Sophie explains that this decision, friend or foe, it's not linguistic. It's biological.
It happens before you even open your mouth. We're talking about the lizard brain, right?
Precisely. The amygdala. It's this tiny, ancient part of your brain, and its only job is survival. It's constantly scanning and asking, is this a threat? Or is this safe?
So if I walk towards someone with my shoulders hunched, looking at the floor.
Maybe frowning, because you're concentrating so hard on your English.
I look like a threat.
You look like a threat, or at the very least, you look like a burden. And the other person's amygdala just goes on high alert. They get this biological urge to back away.
So before we even worry about our words, we have to hack that reaction. Sophie calls it sending a safety signal.
Which is the smile. And I know that sounds so simple, like something from a beauty pageant.
Right?
But chemically, it's powerful. A real smile creates a mirror response. It tells the other person's brain, I am safe, I come in peace. It basically turns off their internal alarm system.
And once that alarm is off, that's when you trigger the halo effect.
Yes. This is such a great cognitive bias. It really is like a cheat code for life.
So break it down for us. How does it apply here?
Well, the halo effect is just a mental shortcut. The brain is lazy, It doesn't want to evaluate every single thing about you.
Yeah.
So if it sees one big positive, like confident posture or warm smile, it just assumes your other traits are positive too.
So if I look confident and happy, they'll just assume I'm smart and that my English is good.
Exactly. Sophie tells Jack, if you start with good posture and a smile, 50% of the introduction is already finished before a single word leaves your lips.
That's actually a huge relief. It takes so much pressure off the grammar.
It does. You're buying yourself a buffer zone for mistakes. You're creating an environment where the other person actually wants you to succeed.
Okay, so we've survived the first 7 seconds. The lizard brain is calm. The halo is glowing. Now we actually have to speak. We have to say our name.
And this part seems easy. But this is where the series gets into this really subtle idea of contextual naming.
Yeah, Sophie talks about the suit versus the t-shirt.
Right. Because Jack's instinct, what the textbook teaches him, is to say, my name is Jack Lynn. It's perfect grammar. It's polite.
But at a casual party, it's It's a bit weird.
It creates what she calls power distance. When you use your full name in that formal structure, you're putting on a verbal suit. It signals formality, hierarchy, great for a CEO meeting.
But terrible for a barbecue. If I'm holding a paper plate and say, hello, my name is, I just sound like a robot.
You sound like you're about to give a presentation. At a party, you want to close that distance. You want to be equals. So she pushes for, I'm Jack. It's faster, friendlier. It says, we're on the same level.
You know, there was another point on names that I really liked. It was about nicknames.
Oh, the Keyhow example, yeah.
Jack's friend has a name that's tougher for English speakers, and Sophie says offering a nickname isn't just for convenience. She calls it an act of kindness.
I love that framing. Think about that cognitive load we mentioned. If I introduce myself with a name that's hard for you to pronounce, I immediately give you anxiety.
Right. You're worried about getting it wrong, about offending me.
Exactly. The whole interaction starts with friction. But by saying, I'm Chi Hao, but please call me Howard, you're giving the other person a gift. You're saying, I'll make this easy so we can connect.
It's generous. It reframes it from I'm giving up my identity to I'm building a bridge.
Precisely. And comfortable people talk more.
Okay, name. Done. Now for the question that killed all conversations. Where are you from?
Death by geography.
Chuckles. Right. Jack says, I'm from Taiwan. And then crickets.
Because he's trading a fact, not a feeling. Sophie calls this peeling the onion. If you just give a generic label, Taiwan, France, Ohio, you're not giving them anything to work with.
It puts all the work on the other person. And if they don't know anything about Taiwan, they're just stuck.
Right. So Sophie teaches them to build a bridge. You just add one layer of detail that invites a question. So instead of, I'm from Taichung, he learns to say, I'm from Taichung, the city of sunshine.
See, immediately I have questions. Is it really that sunny? What are sun cakes?
Exactly. You've just handed them a conversational handle. You've done the hard work for them.
And she also mentions the current life pivot. Like, I'm from Taichung, but I live in Taipei now.
Right. It just doubles the chances for connection. Maybe I don't know Taichung, but hey, I've been to Taipei. You've just given me 2 ways to find common ground.
So we've got the name, the origin. Now the big one, the one everyone dreads. What do you do?
Ugh, the worst. Jack says his job is boring. He's a salesman. He feels like I sell computers is a total conversation stopper.
It's another closed fact. It's the end of a sentence, not the start of a story.
It is. It's a static label. So Sophie introduces the action statement. This is a huge shift. You stop talking about your title and start talking about your value.
And like marketing, right? Don't sell the mattress, sell the good night's sleep.
Exactly. For Jack, instead of I sell computers, he learns to say, I help companies find the best technology for their offices.
It's so much more dynamic. I help companies. It implies a story. It implies you're a problem solver.
And it invites questions. Oh, what kind of technology? You've moved from a noun, salesman, to a verb, helping. Verbs are always more interesting.
You're giving them that handle again. I really like that visual.
That's the whole game. The social ghost just floats. The connection master puts out handles.
But you can't just be about work. If that's all you talk about, you fall into what Sophie calls the robot trap.
This is so common, especially in business. People think they have to be 100% professional, so they suppress their personality.
But we trust humans, not resumes.
Exactly. The psychology is called the similarity attraction effect. We trust people who are like us. So you need a hobby hook.
But this can be so boring, right? I like hiking and reading. It sounds like a bad dating profile.
Chuckles. The laundry list approach. It's generic. Sophie's formula is passion plus detail. You need one specific thing to make it real.
So not just I like hiking.
No. Jack learns to say, I'm a huge hiking fan. I actually try to conquer a new mountain every single month.
That's a story. A new mountain every month. It shows discipline, adventure.
And it makes me curious, which mountain did you do last month? Even if I hate hiking, I can ask about that. You've become three-dimensional.
Okay, so we've built this great introduction. Confident body language, action statement, hobby hook. But a conversation isn't a monologue. And this is where so many people, even native speakers, mess up. They just talk and talk.
The social monopolist. That's Sophie's term for it. You can have the best intro in the world, but if you don't let the other person speak, you've failed.
She uses the tennis match analogy. You have to hit the ball back.
You must. The simplest way, and this is great for nervous learners, is just add "and you," or "how about you?"
It seems so simple, but when you're anxious, your brain gets tunnel vision. You're just so relieved you survived your sentence that you forget to pass the turn.
You're focused on performance, not connection. But the pro move if you really want to connect, is to ask a specific follow-up question.
Right, like the London example from the series.
Yeah, if they say they're from London, the lazy response is, oh, cool. The active response, the tennis return, is, oh, did you move there for work or have you always lived there?
That does two things. It keeps the conversation going and it proves you are actually listening.
And it makes them feel valued. That's the secret sauce. People will forget your grammar mistakes, but they won't forget how you made them feel.
Okay, before we get to the end, we have to talk about the traps. The source highlights a few specific English traps Jack falls into. The first one is the time trap.
Ah, the good evening versus good night disaster.
Yes. Jack walks into a party at 7 p.m. and cheerfully says, "Good night."
And everyone's looking around like, are we leaving already?
So why is that one so tricky for learners?
Because in so many other languages, the phrases are the same or they overlap. But in English, it's rigid. Good evenings is hello. It's for arrival. Good night is exclusively goodbye or for going to sleep.
So you're basically signaling the conversation is over before it even began.
Exactly. Another one was the age trap, the I have 30 years thing.
Right, that's L1 interference, where your first language's grammar sneaks in.
Yep. In many languages, you possess your years. But in English, you are your years. It's a state of being. I am 30. I have 30 years is understandable, but it immediately marks you as a learner translating in your head.
And one more trap. What do you do when you just don't understand? Jack's go-to was to freeze or just say, huh.
Which can sound a little aggressive. It sort of puts the blame on the speaker.
So what's the fix?
Have a rescue phrase or something professional like, I'm sorry I didn't quite catch that.
I didn't quite catch that. It's softer. It implies the problem was the connection, not them or you.
Exactly. It saves face for everybody.
Okay, so we've navigated the traps, we've played tennis, now we have to exit. And the deep dive ends with this amazing concept from Daniel Kahneman, the peak end rule.
This is maybe the most reassuring part of this whole thing for me. Kahneman found that we don't remember experiences like a video. We don't remember minute by minute.
We just take snapshots.
Exactly. We remember two specific things. The peak, the most intense emotional moment, and the end. We mostly just forget the stuff in the middle.
So if I totally mess up my grammar in minute 3, or I stumble over a word.
It pretty much doesn't matter.
Right.
As long as the peak wasn't you setting the room on fire, it's just the middle. If you stick the landing, if you have a strong, confident end, that is what they will remember.
The ending is your safety net.
It is. A clear, it was lovely meeting you, a smile, using their name. That final impression overwrites so much of the awkwardness that might have come before.
It takes all the pressure off of being perfect.
It does. Communication is about connection, not perfection.
So let's recap this toolkit. Step 1, walk in and hack the lizard brain.
Smile. Stand tall. Signal safety. Let that halo effect do the work for you.
Step 2, the name.
Context is everything. I'm Jack for a party. And offer a nickname as a kindness.
Step 3, peel the onion.
Right. Don't just give a map location. Build a bridge with a detail, like the City of Sunshine. Give them a handle.
Step 4, the action statement.
Ditch the boring title. Focus on your value. I help people solve X.
Step 5, the tennis match.
Don't be a monopolist. You have to hit the ball back. And you.
And finally, trust the peak end rule. Finish strong.
It's a full system. And the best part is what Sophie tells Jack. Communication is a skill, not a gift.
That's a really important distinction. We think some people are just born charming.
Nobody is. It's a muscle you have to build. By using these tools, Jack learned to manage his anxiety and focus on the other person instead of himself.
That feels like the perfect place to leave it. So here's our challenge to you listening. Don't just nod along. Take 5 minutes right now. Draft your action statement. How do you help people?
And your hobby hook. What's that one specific detail, your new mountain, that makes you interesting?
Write it down. Say it out loud. Get comfortable with the words.
So the next time you walk into that room and your heart starts going boom, 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 you don't have to think. You just connect.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. Go out there and master that introduction.
See you next time.